I'm sure you've seen at this point the situation with vaccine passports. I did tell you that this was going to be a thing at some point, that we were going to have this conversation, and that there were going to be, whether it's government officials or whether it's a bunch of corporations that all get together, but they are looking to create vaccine passports. Now, this is something, and there's a couple of things here. Let me pull up I have so much prep for you. There was one that the Biden administration is apparently reaching out to a number of different private entities, private companies and different corporations to look and see how something like this could be done. And I'm really actually kind of surprised, especially with some of the, like Scott Adams, who I think is kind of a conservative, for instance, and he does Dilbert. I like him and all of that, but I don't understand the reasoning. He's like, I don't really trust the government, but I don't think that there's anything nefarious here. I don't trust the government in anything. And I think there's something nefarious in almost everything that they do. I think this because I descended from people who started and created a revolution. We all did. We're Americans. Of course we distrust the government. It's a national pastime, more so than baseball. And so this push now to create this vaccine passport, they're wanting to create something where you're going to have to show a piece of paper stating when you got your vaccine, where you got it, how many did you get your second dose, all of this stuff. It's very much like the Communist Party of China social credit score system. That's what it is. And I don't know how in the world the government has the right to levy that kind of burden on someone. How they have the ability or the right in any way to say, contrary to the Constitution, we want to be able to determine when and how you can travel and where you can go and what you can inject yourself with. So if you don't have if you don't have a piece of paper proving that you allowed the government to inject you with something, then you're not going to. Now, I see the left out there. They go, well, you have to have passport. You have to have proof of vaccinations to get into schools and to enroll your kids in schools and et cetera, et cetera. But here's the thing. You also have the opportunity to homeschool, and you have the opportunity you have other educational alternatives. With some of the stuff that they want to implement this with, there are no other alternatives for adults. Furthermore, when people get together and they go to schools, these are things that people vote on. They all determine whether or not this is something that they're okay with having. There have been schools out in California that have gone through and said, okay, if there are parents that object to, whether it's a number of different types of vaccines and delaying them at different stages, whatever. Parents have come together and they've had input. This is something in which you have zero input. This is something in which you are allowing people and companies to be able to determine and completely arbitrarily how you can live and where you can go.